welcome back to another SegWeather video looking at your forecast for your Wednesday, July 22nd of 2026. We're going to go ahead and dive into that real quickly with what to expect. Starting off first and foremost with the radar, we don't have a lot going on this morning, just a couple showers ongoing in parts of the southern Dakotas and even stretching to parts of the mid-Atlantic regions, looking at a couple showers in these areas, a couple showers around Maine as well, and also a couple showers in the southern part of Idaho too. But looking at current watches and warnings, not much going on across the Midwest or the Northeast, but definitely across the Deep South and the West Coast. Looking at that heat advisory in place for Washington today, throughout much of today, expecting heat index values to reach 100 if not greater, and same thing for parts of the Deep South, expecting that to be the case, but the pinks here indicating extreme heat warnings in place for these areas. That's in place for Texas, Louisiana, western parts of Mississippi, and also the southwest corner of the U.S. around Los Angeles, looking at heat indices reaching over 105 degrees, maybe even reaching up to about 120 degrees on that scale. So quite a hot day for these areas due to that ongoing heat wave taking place. And then a flood watch still in place for parts of the Rockies due to the ongoing monsoon, which will bring more shower and storm chances to this area. And also a flood watch remaining in place for parts of the mid-Atlantic due to the ongoing showers and storms attached to a stationary front that's in the area. So looking at that occurring throughout much of today as well with this ongoing system. But now looking at the excessive rainfall outlook, according to the National Weather Service, you can tell up to a slight risk here in the Rockies, and also looking at that slight risk here in parts of the Mid-Atlantic with a moderate risk in the extreme southeastern parts of Virginia and the extreme northern parts of North Carolina. Is looking at some rain that could lead to some flash flooding in these areas, especially later on this afternoon and into this evening. And that small area around here, this is tied to Tropical Storm Bertha that's still ongoing at this point. Now, looking towards the wildfire smoke, luckily with most of the country today, we're not expecting much in the way of that occurring. The only area to watch out for looks to be the West Coast, as right now, again, they have those ongoing wildfires. This is not attached to the one in Canada, but this is a separate one that's occurring right now. But unfortunately for this area, looking at some pretty smoky fires, smoky skies, excuse me, due to the ongoing wildfires that are occurring in this area. And then out towards the east, not much going on, as with the front pushing to the south is pulling in that cooler, drier air, which is located in this part of Canada, and likely of that will mean nicer skies for these areas, but maybe some hazy conditions still along that front as it does push through the south, as this front's pushing out all that hazy air, which is good news, especially after several days of hazy skies in the Midwest, Northeast. But the plains, still some of that haze ongoing, and then again, that West Coast looking quite smoky at this time. Now, looking at temperatures, looking at a hot day, mainly across the west and southern parts of our country. Temperatures in the 90s to 100s across much deep south. Temperatures in the Rockies a bit cooler. Temperatures in the 70s for the Midwest, stretching towards the Northeast. A closer look, as we'll see those temperatures in the Mid-South. Temperatures looking to be quite hot, 106 degrees around Dallas, 103 around Houston, 100 around Phoenix, 110 around Las Vegas. So quite a hot day overall for these areas. But a contrast to that, the Midwest, much cooler, much nicer today. So compared to the heat we've been seeing the last week or so, it's going to feel much nicer today, with temperatures around 69 degrees, such as here around Gaylord, Michigan, 72 around Lansing, Michigan, 70 in Lafayette, and then even temperatures as low as 76 here in western parts of Iowa. It's looking quite nice for your Wednesday afternoon. A great afternoon to go outside and enjoy the awesome weather, as will be nice and comfortable. And all of this is thanks to this upper level jet stream pattern that's occurring, where we're having that cool air pulling in from north, which is leading to, again, those nicer conditions remaining in place. And that will continue for tomorrow and the Friday and possibly into Saturday. But by Sunday, we could see the heat ridge that's developing to our south and west slowly make its way back to the east as this cooler retreats. We could see that occur, where the heat moves slowly back to the east, and as a result, we could see temperatures back in the 90s as early as Sunday for much of the southwestern parts of the Midwest. So watching that very closely as we get closer towards them. But again, enjoy that cooler weather while it lasts in the Midwest, because it will not be there for very long. Now, looking towards this weather threat, we do have that threat for some strong storms in place, mainly for the East Coast today, as that cold front, which is now turning stationary, moves off to the east. Maybe a small area of some strong storms in parts of the Rockies and also around the West Coast. But again, nothing too significant to talk about for today. Tornado risk looks to be quite low at this time, mainly across Maine and parts of the mid Atlantic. Damaging wind threat looks to be, again, it will be there, but looking at the winds up to 60 miles per hour with the strongest storms, maybe a small chance of that occurring also in the Rockies and the West Coast as well. And then hail risk only for Maine at this time. So looking at not a significant setup for storms today compared to with yesterday or Monday, where we had all those strong storms ongoing. That did produce quite a few tornadoes, but today looking more at a lower end threat for all of that occurring. Now, looking at the weather models, looking at later on today, I do expect those shower and storm chances to again be ongoing across the mid-Atlantic. Deep south could see those shower and storms tight to tropical storm Bertha, and then the Rockies quite wet at this time. But a closer look towards the mid-Atlantic, again, you can see that line of storms slowly moving off towards the east. You can tell it trains over the same areas as we progress throughout the day today and into tomorrow morning. Hence why you have that flood watch, as the rainfall will be sitting over the same areas throughout the course of the next 24 hours. Meanwhile, the northeast will watch that eastern part of that front move its way towards Maine. Will bring in that small chance for some strong storms later on this afternoon into this evening, but will be gone by nightfall. So looking at some clearing conditions by then without those hazy skies overhead. But now moving on to Tropical Storm Bertha. Right now, as of this morning, you can tell the storm is now moving quite a bit, and unfortunately it's tracking its way towards Louisiana, where it may make landfall later on this afternoon into this evening. So if you're in Louisiana, remain on high alert as the system is approaching you at this time. Closer look towards the system. This is as we head from this afternoon and going to Friday morning. You can tell it's slowly, once this model starts up again, could show you very closely. This is this afternoon. It reaches Louisiana, slowly makes its way out to sea before it makes its way towards Texas, where it could make a second landfall later on Thursday and then Friday as of right now. So a little bit earlier in the timing, but again, that's all due to the fact that the system is quickly making its way towards the west. And a closer look at that track. This is as of 10 a.m. for the National Weather Service, showing the track of Tropical Storm Bertha. You can tell it's again sitting right here just south of Mississippi. It will make its way towards Louisiana, may make a landfall somewhere in the southeastern parts of Louisiana later on this evening, so around New Orleans, and then make its way back into the ocean by Thursday morning, and then making a second landfall somewhere around Galveston, Texas, late on Thursday, and then eventually dissipating into a tropical depression just south of San Antonio by Friday morning. So overall, the system's going to be dead by then, but still will bring some impacts. We could see some increased rough surf, some heavy rainfall, and some minor flooding occurring to the system. So looking at that being the case over the next couple of days, and looking at the track of the system, at least according to all these models, did you agree that again the system will weaken over the next couple of days? So by Friday afternoon, the system will be no more, as it will have made landfall and will be pretty much done by then. But that's pretty much it for this update. Thank you so much for enjoying this video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a like. And if you want to see more of this content, don't forget to subscribe to always get updated on the latest videos on this channel, as I post daily as well. Now, don't forget to stay weather aware today, and have a great